the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning, and welcome to the Point for today. It's Wednesday, the 15th day of June, 2022. It's GT with you this morning. I'm holding down for, of course, Joseph this morning, and it's a pleasure to be here. And it's Wednesday, and we have a lot to chatting with this morning. We have a representative from the Ministry of Education, and we're going to have a little chit chat with him. That's Mr. Norman Gilbert, and we should be bringing him in shortly and having a bit of a chit chat. Lots of information that should be relatively important to you, our dear listeners and viewers out there. So once again, good morning, Mr. Gilbert. How are you? How are you doing this morning? Hope all is well with you, sir. Good morning, and welcome to the point this morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the listeners and viewers of the GBN. It's good to be on the program once again, to be able to share relevant information with you and the public in regards to what's taking place at the Ministry of Education, specifically to do with scholarship and training opportunities. So it's really good to be back again on the To The Point program with you.
All right. And as I mentioned before, we're happy to have you with us this morning. So let's just get into this morning and the Ministry of Education in terms of scholarship. You of course, you're part of the scholarship desk, if I could say that. Am I correct by saying that?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
That's correct. Now, in terms of scholarships that's available, just give us a rundown of, maybe there's a listener, viewer there, a parent per se, who's interested in his son or daughter, who may have, we know there's CXC results coming out and so forth, and they may be interested in knowing what scholarships are available out there for them. Give us a little bit heads up in terms of what's available out there via the Ministry of Education.
Again, thanks. The Ministry of Education has what is referred to as a scholarship desk, which is responsible for the promotion of scholarship opportunities for Grenadian nationals who are seeking to further their studies, whether it's locally, online, or also through other friendly governments that are internationally offering those scholarships to Grenadian nationals. And so I just want to first talk a little bit about the desk and how the desk operates and what we do here at the ministry.
All right.
At the ministry, we receive requests for awards to be selected and provided to nationals who have expressed interest. And so with the work of government and the ministry, there is existing relationships with friendly governments who would offer Grenadian nationals opportunity to study abroad. And there is also organizations that are also responsible for the promotion of awards through entities such as the OAS, the Commonwealth, who provide such opportunities similar for our nationals. And we also have SGU locally, who also provides opportunities for Grenadians who are interested in studying at SGU. And so at the ministry, we are responsible for the processing of applications. We receive applications. We also are responsible for the promotion and advertisement of these applications. Of course, anybody can apply for any university online, which doesn't hinder them from having a chance to study online. But the ministry is responsible for some of the processing of applications that are within the government arrangement. And I say within the government arrangement because a number of persons sometimes come to the desk seeking assistance, financial support, because I have applied to a university in Canada and I was accepted. And so I expect that the ministry would provide the support. And I just want to differentiate this, that we do have responsibility for advertisement and processing, and we process those applicants that are in programs that are advertised by the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
And so for the young persons out there who are interested in receiving a scholarship, the ministry obviously would provide the announcement through the scholarship call, and we provide information for each announcement, which includes the deadlines, as well as what is required as prerequisites for persons to be eligible to receive these awards that are going to be promoted through the ministry.
All right. Let's talk about the process of an individual getting a scholarship. What's the process like for an individual wanting to?
Right. So we do have a very extensive procedure and process by which persons can receive awards. First, an award has to be advertised by the ministry. And so, for example, we receive requests for SGU, and SGU deadline is the 15th of July. For persons who are interested in pursuing studies at SGU come September or August. And so when we receive the requests, we advertise the requests, applicants or interested persons out there would complete the necessary application forms, which are available at the ministry and at the ministry's website. Once these forms are completed, there are some supporting documents that must be accompanied by the submission of those forms.
Okay.
And that include, first of all, acceptance from SGU. Now, you cannot get a scholarship to SGU if you have not been accepted by SGU. And so applicants must first go on the SGU's website, complete the necessary application from SGU, be accepted. Then your acceptance letter, along with the application form, along with the relevant assessment of your prior educational achievements, whether it's through SGU or whether it's through TAMCC, for example, or CSEC, or any other institution that had provided prior education for you. You must provide a transcript of those areas that you would have studied before, along with the application and reference letters submitted to the Ministry of Education Scholarship Desk for processing. Once we have received these applications, of course, as you would imagine, there are hundreds of applications that would be received. We obviously have a limited number of available scholarships based on agreements with SGU. And thankfully, we have been able to have very good relationship with SGU. And so they have been able to accommodate a lot more than we have originally requested. Now, there is a selection committee that has been appointed by Cabinet and so approved to receive and to also filter these applications that are going to be submitted. Sometimes we receive on average close to 200 applicants, and we have to select 44 applicants. And so you would imagine that there's going to be a difficult process having to eliminate persons, of course, who may be also deserving. And so the selection committee would meet and they would shortlist the necessary applicants who have met the criteria. And that would be ranked in order from first to 200 based on the number of applicants.
Okay.
And of course, the limited number of applicants that we have will be identified and so selected. Once they have been identified and selected, then we are going to make all the necessary arrangements with SGU for their registration and enrollment. And a similar process happened with international agencies, international countries as well. There are some awards that we are asked to shortlist for international countries, and there are some where we are asked solely to promote the applications. So, for example, we have applications to Thailand or to Austria or to Australia, New Zealand. Most of the times we are asked to advertise and to promote, and the applicants would have to go online to complete the necessary application. And once identified and selected, they will be informed by the various organizations or by the school in question.
All right.
So you would find sometimes that we have a responsibility here for selection, and there are also cases where we are responsible solely for the promotion and the registration of applicants on the government's platform.
Now, in terms of qualification for of course the scholarship. On a local level, how does the Ministry of Education or the scholarship desk, of course, analyze the qualification for individuals wanting to get a scholarship?
Well, the first thing that you have to give consideration to is what is the preliminary entry level requirement for the particular program that the applicant may be interested in. Every program has different requirements for entry based on the nature of the program that the applicant may be expressing interest. And so the first thing that we have to identify is ensuring that the applicants have the prerequisite, and that prerequisite must be submitted by the applicant as evidence that they are eligible to sit the particular program at an advanced level. And so we have to ensure that the applicants are at a level that is required by the entry. And I should also indicate that there's also a 3.0 average GPA that is a requirement of most institutions that are offering scholarships. And so we have to look at the GPA of the students, and then we have to give consideration to what academic attainment that they have had in the past. And not only for the academics, and we have to keep in mind that some of these awards also requires some socioeconomic evidence as well to ascertain that the student is incapable of funding themselves through these opportunities that are available. And so one also has to assess that, and to also have to assess the academic achievement, which is going to be a prerequisite. So we assess the prerequisites in terms of academics, the socioeconomic situation, and we also have to assess the student's level of readiness for advanced level study. So the committee basically would be assessing those things based on the documentation presented to them by the applicant in terms of the transcript and the application forms and the description of the references and the recommendations that have been provided by persons in the community or the past school, for example, who will provide recommendations on their behalf.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What are some of the most sought of scholarships we see the scholarly scholarship desk is being, of course, assessed for? What are some of these most scholarship that these folks sought after?
Yeah, I can tell you off the bat that in terms of popularity in regards to scholarship, we see a lot of application for business administration, business management, quite a lot of applications there. We see a lot of applications in recent times for areas such as psychology. Quite a lot of applications also received for areas as accounting, finance, very popular as well. We see a lot of applications in the area of nursing, particularly because SGU now has been offering nursing at the BSc level here. And so quite a number of persons apply for nursing here. We also have persons who apply for nursing in Cuba as well, because Cuba also offers opportunities for training in nursing. These are very popular areas in terms of what we have seen coming forward as interest. Of course, there are some what I refer to as unique areas as well, because we have persons who would have gone off to study welding and fabrication.
Yep.
For example, there are people who go off to study political science. There are people who go off to study and specialize in oncology, radiology, lab technicians that are sort of unique. We see people who are interested in renewable energy and biodiversity. We also see people who environmental studies. And so these areas are sort of unique, but there are some areas that are quite heavily populated in terms of requests. And we also have uniqueness in terms of the opportunities as well. And I can also add architecture to that and engineering. There are quite a number of persons who have expressed interest in those areas. So the areas vary, but in terms of popularity and in terms of the greatest number of requests, I would say is business administration, definitely business administration and management. We have seen quite a number of applicants in these areas.
You know, one will think in the area of the world today where technology seems to be the key factor in everything we do these days. Everybody's into IT and stuff like that. We probably would have thought to say, well, there will be more, of course, individuals coming out for those kind of subjects these days. You understand? But you said there's still a lot of folks coming out.
Yeah, there is still a lot of interest in computer science, information communication technology. Even at SGU here, a number of the applicants apply for communication information technology. We have that offered as well in China. We also have it offered in Cuba as well, a number of persons who have expressed that interest. But I think we would want to see more persons getting into emerging areas where we can have greater opportunities for advancement. And in fact, we are quite saturated in some areas. And I say saturated because we have, over the years, processed significant numbers of requests for business administration in comparison to the areas of science and technology. And so it is good that we are seeing some movement in that area. We would like to have more applicants express interest in these areas. And I should also indicate that some of the international awards, they are very open in terms of the area that you can express interest in, but there are some that are also very closed by offering particular areas. And so based on what is offered, you might find that persons are limited to stick within what is being offered. But there are some areas where it's quite open and we have a wider range of areas to choose from. And so we want to encourage persons as much as possible to look beyond what I call the normal or the traditional area of study and to look at what are the economic needs and the economic trends that we are currently embracing, and so encourage persons to move into these areas as there are greater opportunities in these areas. We look at the area of hospitality, we look at the area of computer technology, we look at the area of the environmental studies, the green technology, the green energy, and so on, that persons persons can, divest themselves into. And so we can have a wider range of persons who are more specialized to serve the entire economy and not just to focus on one specific area.
All right. I agree with you. Hey, folks, it's to the point for today, Wednesday, the 15th day of June. We do take a short break. We're coming back with much more. We're speaking to Mr. Norman Gilbert from the Ministry of Education Scholarship Desk. We're going to take that break and we're coming right back. Don't touch it out, folks. We're coming right back with more.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
One day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop. Look. Hand out. Eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
We say welcome back to the point for today, Wednesday, the 15th day of June, 2022. This morning, we, of course, chatting with Mr. Norman Gilbert. He's from the Ministry of Education Scholarship Desk. We have chatted a lot this morning. We spoke already pertaining to the process of individuals, how you can go about the process of obtaining, scholarships. We have talked about, the necessary qualification skill that you need to possess in order to obtain scholarships, and there's so much more. So let's say good morning to those of you viewing us via GBN TV. Good morning if you're just touching your dials via GBN Radio K105. Good morning to you also. Let's say good morning to our social media, of course, viewers and listeners this morning. If you're via gbn.gd, good morning. Or you're via our YouTube or Facebook page, good morning and welcome back. Let's go back to Mr. Gilbert this morning. Mr. Gilbert, welcome back once again. We're back live here on K105. It's to the point for today. So we spoke about a couple of previous issues. Let's talk about government's contributions towards scholarship. How does that process go about? Or how is that process go about?
Yes, interestingly, and I'm saying interestingly, the government's contribution to scholarship has been significant over the past 10, 12 years. I want to speak about where we were in terms of the provision of scholarship opportunities to where we are now. And I'm going to use SGU as my example. There was a period when we would have started arrangement with SGU that, we would have been receiving about 40 to 50 applications for persons who have interest in going to SGU. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you now that we have seen significant improvement within the last 5 to 10 years in terms of the number of persons who have expressed interest in going to SGU. In fact, the committee now is much more pressed in terms of review of scholarships. Whilst they would have spent one day to interview the 30 applicants in the past, now we have to spread over 3 to 4 days of interviews because we have up to almost 200 plus applicants for the various areas offered at SGU. Government's commitment has been significant in terms of supporting scholarships, and not just SGU. We support scholarship to SGU, to Cuba, to the OAS, to China, to Romania, to Russia. And we also have some specific areas that we provide significant contributions in. There is something that is referred to as the Economic Cost Scholarship Awards, where government provides support for persons who are interested in pursuing studies at the University of the West Indies, the 4 main campus sites. And we provide 80% of the tuition for persons who are going to be beneficiaries of the Economic Cost Awards. We also provide support for our island scholars. Every year, government provides support for at least 5 to 6 island scholars who are going to go off to pursue their undergrad degrees, and eventually some would also go on to do their master's degrees. And these awards are supported by government. In fact, over the last 5 years, we have been able to provide over 100 scholarships annually in terms of the areas that have been offered at an average cost over the 5-year period close to $100 and something million that has been spent to provide these scholarship opportunities. In fact, over the last 5 years, we have spent just over $106 million to provide opportunities for Grenadians to pursue advanced level studies. Now, this may have not been recognized by a significant number of the public because the public don't understand the investment that is made to secure these awards for our Grenadian nationals. What we would like to see more of, is that these nationals, when they return, can continue to provide greater support for the economic development of our country. We have a number of persons who go off to study, whether it's locally here at SGU or whether it's internationally. The time frames for study may vary. Some may go off for 3 years, some may go for 4 or 5 or 6 years for that matter. And we would like to see the investment made. The returns on the investment is what we would want to see. So whilst government may have supported over $100 million in the last 5 years, we want to be able to see and speak proudly about the persons who would have returned and who would have received their qualifications. And I can also add that we have probably less than 1% of persons who would return with incomplete degrees. And that may vary from health issues to performance issues, but generally, I can speak proudly about our recipients of our awards, that they are very successful in terms of the rate of completion. And I'm speaking about awardees who would have migrated to countries where English is not the first language, and would have had to spend a year in most instances to learn the foreign language, before they can actually start their major programs. And I'm speaking about people who would have gone to China and would have had to learn the Chinese, people would have gone to Cuba and would have had to also learn the Spanish, or whether you'd have gone to Morocco to learn French, or whether you'd have gone to Russia to learn the Russian, that at the end of the day, even if you would have had these language barriers, our students have been excelling and performing very well. And so I want to applaud all of those who have been really putting in the work. I can speak now about awardees who would have been awarded for China. And as you would know, the last 2 years we have been unable to have the students who have received awards for China physically go to China because of the pandemic and what is taking place in terms of COVID-19.
That's understandable.
And these students have been here, but despite the fact that they have been here, they have been making the sacrifice online to be able to complete year 1 of the Chinese language program, despite the fact that they are not physically in a place where the language is spoken daily. They have been able to pursue and to be able to excel in these areas. There are some challenges, of course. And as you know, that the Chinese have its challenges in terms of the internet infrastructure and the applications that have been used for teaching and learning. And so there were some issues in terms of connectivity for these students. But I can proudly say that they have been working tirelessly. And government continues to provide the support for these students. What I did not also mention is that government also provides support for stipend for our students who are on study internationally. So apart from having the support in terms of ensuring that their tuition is paid, that their accommodation is paid, that their food is paid, we also provide a stipend for their daily living from these students, for these students. And we also have the support also provided by our friendly governments who also provides assistance to these students as well. Right. So when you look at government's contribution for education in regards to scholarship, I can say over the past 5 years, I'm just using a short time span. If I go 10, then obviously it will be much more. That we have seen significant amounts of investment in the area of education and scholarship. What I can also say that we have been able to engage friendly governments who have been able to support our students as well. And sometimes we have to also applaud the level of negotiation that goes into government being able to secure these scholarships. Minister of Education, whoever that may be, also have that responsibility to ensure that these scholarships can be properly negotiated. And so Cabinet also has its endorsement of the scholarships that have been provided. So we have seen that there are a number of friendly governments who have been reaching out and providing opportunities for Grenadians to study. We have seen the list grown. I can call a number of countries where we have students currently engaged and currently studying. That would span from here in the Caribbean to internationally, to the Middle East, to Europe, to areas where you probably would not believe that there are students. And so we are very happy for the support of government as well as our friendly governments and agencies, which includes the OAS, which also includes the Grenada Houston Association, which also includes the Commonwealth, who has been able to provide support for our students overseas who are studying in various areas.
All right. Now, you mentioned a while ago that in terms of the SGU here in Grenada, and of course, what is the impact and what has it been for students per se in terms of the scholarship desk, in terms of the application? Give us some more insight in terms of how it has been for SGU and in terms of the scholarship desk for Grenada here.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, SGU has been one of our major partners in regards to the scholarships. There was a time probably when, there were very small number of students, of Grenadian nationals, who were going to SGU. And of course, persons were concerned about the cost of study at SGU. And so, based on negotiation with government and SGU, we have seen significant increase. In fact, the global pandemic has probably created a situation where most of our students prefer to remain at home to receive a quality education. And the fear of international travel probably has also added to that fact that persons prefer now to pursue studies at SGU, recognizing that you can remain at home and still receive a world-class, first-class education. And so the number of applicants for SGU has probably increased close to 80 or 90% over the last 5-year period. Wow. I did indicate earlier that probably there was a time when there was about 30 or 40 applicants for SGU. Yeah. Now we process over 200 applicants for SGU, and SGU provides study not only in medicine. We do medicine, we do pre-medicine, we do veterinary medicine, and we also do arts and sciences. And then a very big program for us under the arts and sciences at SGU is nursing. Currently, as you know, government has made a special call for the number of nurses, qualified nurses, to be increased. And we see now with the expansion of opportunities within the health sector, we're going to be seeing the opening of the St. John's Medical Facility that would require greater support of nurses. And so SGU have been able to give Grenadian nationals increased opportunities in the area of nursing. In fact, only this January, we would have had some 34 persons awarded to do their bachelor's in nursing at SGU. And that is added to the multiple number that we have had over the past 3 to 4 years. So SGU has become a major attraction for persons who are intending to pursue additional studies. I can tell you that the competition to SGU is great. Right. In fact, when you look at
let me ask you this, not to cutting on you, but let me ask you this: what is the percentage that of the scholarship that is offered in terms of from governmental, from the scholarship desk and SGU? What is the percentage like?
Right now, you have a situation where persons can apply to SGU
Yeah.
and be accepted at SGU on the scholarship without coming through the scholarship desk, I must say, right? You may be able to apply for a program, you may get accepted. SGU may be able to accept you and give you a part sponsorship based on the arrangement currently that exists at SGU. But then there's also the arrangement with SGU and government to provide opportunities for Grenadian nationals. And so SGU provides an amount of awards annually to the government of Grenada to be filled by Grenadian nationals. Now, as I said before, you can also apply to SGU and receive an award outside of the scholarship desk. But the scholarship desk facilitates the awards that have been approved by SGU in negotiation and agreement with government.
Okay.
And so they provide quotas. We have a quota for medicine, there is a quota for pre-medicine, there is a quota for veterinary medicine, and there's a quota for nursing. The last 3 years, SGU has exceeded its quota in acceptance of Grenadians who have been received through the scholarship program, Ministry of Education. In fact, I can tell you that we would have been catering for some 12 nurses. Remember, I said a while ago that this January, we have been able to enroll some 34 nurses, which is a significant increase in the percentage. We've gone over 100% increase in the acceptance. And so SGU has been able to be very flexible with government, recognizing that it's an important part of the development of the health sector. But at the same time, SGU also has a corporate responsibility to provide support based on its arrangement with government and the establishment of the university. There are some requirements that SGU obviously have to be able to fulfill, and that is, as an obligation, they would have to provide opportunities for Grenadians, and they have been doing so, and we have seen increased number over the years, quite a lot of increased number over the years.
All right, great. Let's talk about, of course, the other programs that the Ministry of Education and the Scholarship Desk offer in terms of long-term and short-term programs. What are some of these programs that the Scholarship Desk also offers?
Yeah, we currently have an arrangement with the Commonwealth of Learning to provide some short-term programs to Grenadian nationals in multiple areas. In fact, we have 3 major platforms that provide these opportunities, and they're all short-term and it's all free courses. I want to reiterate, it's all free courses. Whether you are employed, whether you're unemployed, they're all online and available online. And so persons can be able to apply online to be accepted to any one of these 3 courses. We have courses offered on the following platforms. There is courses offered by Coursera, and we have over 300 different programs being offered. We have courses offered by Udemy and also courses offered by Google. These courses are wide-ranging. Over 500 courses are available. We're speaking about areas such as computing, computer technology, networking, big data, psychology. We're speaking about workforce-ready skills, work readiness skills. We're speaking about being able to do things like data management, data operation, app development, etc. Areas that are of interest, particularly to working people who may have not had the chance to upskill and to reskill. And so all of these are available currently. We have a number of persons who have already applied. We have a short timeline for the submission of the applications. Like I said, we have quite a number of areas offered, over 500 areas in terms of the long list of opportunities. Persons who are so interested in applying, I can tell you that although we would have had a deadline of June 7th, which has gone, we still are accepting applications. You can check our website. It's www.skillsforwork, and you can check it out .gd. You can check it out. We'll be able to provide you, or if not, you can just give us a phone call at the ministry, and we'll be able to have someone take you through. As I said before, all of these courses are free. They range from as short as 3 weeks to as much as 6 months in terms of its duration. And these courses would provide you with certificated training that you will be able to upskill and to reskill your current existing skills, especially for persons who are already employed. you can benefit from taking part in these short-term courses, whether it's in media relation, whether it's in camera work, whether it's in editing, graphic design. There are a long list of areas that you will be able to benefit from. Just call the ministry, ask for the help desk, and they will be able to connect you to that platform where you can receive free short-term courses. Of course, there is no payment required, but you must register. And you also must be able to commit some time, because there are going to be activities that you have to complete to be able to complete your training program. So I want to encourage all young persons out there, and middle-aged and elderly persons as well. There is no age limit to what you can do, and the availability of these free courses can help to enhance your skills and to build your resumes. And so I want to encourage persons to log on or to call the ministry and to be able to take part and benefit from these short-term programs.
Hearing you speak about this, and there are probably individuals out there who may be hearing about this for the first time in terms of these short-term programs that are available. I mean, with the deadline passing on the 7th of June, what has been the feedback been for the scholarship desk pertaining to this? What has the feedback been? I mean, an individual like myself, I'm probably just hearing about this. How has the feedback been?
The feedback has been tremendous. In fact, I can tell you that these short-term courses we started to run in 2020.
Yeah.
The number of applicants quite small. Mm-hmm. And in 2021, we have seen, based on promotion and advertisement, we have seen significant increases in terms of the application. In fact, the last calendar year when we ran these short-term programs, we had over 600 spaces available for Grenadian nationals in terms of the entire 3 platforms. And we have exceeded the number of applications that we have had in all platforms. This time around, this current call, we have room for approximately 500 to 600 again applicants. Based on my data received, although we would have gone past the closing deadline, we have just about 400 and something applicants. We still have a few spaces available for persons who are interested, and we are still going to be able to accommodate those of you who have missed the deadline for the application. So don't be afraid if the deadline would have passed and you feel that you would have missed it. You still have some time to catch on. We are still accommodating persons because we know that persons may have not heard about it before, or they are unsure. They wasn't sure whether they wanted to sign up or not, and so we still have spaces available. And I want to encourage persons to call the desk and to be able to fill those spaces so that we can make maximum use of the available opportunities that we have before us. I know a number of times people speak about not having opportunities, but there are so many opportunities available. And so sometimes you cannot wait for it to always come to you. Sometimes you have to seek it out. You have to seek to find out. And so when you seek and you find out, you will also understand that there are quite a number of opportunities available for young persons, for middle-aged persons, for working persons, but we have to be able to place this in our interest and also seek and find that information that is available out there for all of us to benefit from.
Well, we're getting set, of course, to take a couple of calls. I'm sure there are listeners and viewers out there who may like to ask you a question or two pertaining to scholarships out there. And I think I already see a call coming in. Let's see what this caller has to offer. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning to you, son. How are you doing?
We're doing fine.
All right, good. Now I want to ask the gentleman. He says this program is available since 2020. Is that?
That's correct.
All right. And I'm wondering now, this is the very first time, and this program, this calling program, I follow it like every day, religiously. And this is the very first time I'm hearing it. So I'm wondering if this is other politics campaign strategy as everything else. What's happening in campaign work is everything. It's happening now recently, a couple months now, which is a campaign strategy. I'm wondering, gentlemen, is this a campaign strategy, sir? Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. And we had that caller, the excellent question.
If I should respond to the caller, Government of Grenada has been offering scholarships for many a year. We offer scholarships right throughout the entire year, every year, the various entities. The Skills for Work short-term programs that I spoke about is a special arrangement that we have signed in 2020 with the Commonwealth of Learning to deliver training to young people. We have had over 500 beneficiaries to date. I have also been on this program before with Joseph Kado, who would have promoted the program. We would have been on other media houses promoting the program as well. And when we speak about these programs, we are speaking about service and serving the entire Grenadian population. And there is no intent to have a program that is specific to what the caller would have mentioned. In fact, that's not an intention of the ministry. We have been providing this for many years, and for many a year throughout the entire year. It may have been the first time you may have heard about it, I'm not sure, as you would have indicated, but we have been providing service to the public in these areas for quite some time, and there are many people who I'm sure can speak about their benefit by participating in these programs that we have been operating for quite a number of years now.
All right. Well, we do have another caller. Let's take this caller. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yes, I think I heard the gentleman said earlier on that it's $106 million worth of scholarships which have been provided for the Grenadian people. Now, I want to know in what categories these scholarships fall under. How much from SGU? How much from the Grenada government? How much from other institutions? And who have paid $106 million for these scholarships? I want to know if it's the SGU have paid $50 million. I want to know if how the payments are done for these scholarships. So is the government paying for the scholarship? Because I find $106 million. I don't know if we're dealing with Nigeria. I find $106 million for scholarships is exorbitantly high. And I would like the gentleman to drop that info. He could explain it on the media as he's there now. But I wanted to send some information to GBN, and I'll collect it from there concerning what I'm just asking. Thank you very much.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. I guess you heard the caller's question. I mean, I'm not sure if you were able to answer it in detail for him a bit.
Well, let me indicate, right, that when I speak about awards and the value of awards that government has been supporting, I should also indicate that every scholarship award that an individual receives comes at a cost. It's not a cost to the individual, but it's a cost that has to be facilitated by either the government directly or by arrangement with government and the various entities or organizations that have the relationship to provide the support for the award. What the caller should also understand is that the attainment of the awards, and when I speak of awards here now, I'm speaking about bachelor's degrees, I'm speaking about master's, and we do have some post-graduate degrees as well offered. The average cost of a medicine undergrad degree is almost 300,000 US. That's one award. So when you look at the number of awards available, let me just give some examples, because I can share some examples with the caller in terms of the various areas. So far for this year, 2021, and we have just gone January into June, we have provided 15 economic awards to persons who are pursuing studies at the various UE campuses. This is a total of 191,000 EC dollars, paid for by the government of Grenada. We have provided awards to SGU, 16 awards to SGU for undergrad. We have 36 awards for undergrads as well. I'm speaking about 36 awards for undergrads, 16 graduate awards. We have China, 1 award for postgraduate, 2 graduate studies, 7 undergrad studies, 2 OAS studies, 3 studies to Romania. We have provided, for the calendar year so far, we have provided 82 awards to Grenadian nationals. And we're talking already, so far for the year, $13 million. So if I provide a number that spans a 5-year period, you would imagine that the number that I had provided is very close to And we may have also not included, as I said before, we have some stipend and so on provided to students as well. So the figure caller that is provided is well justified. You obviously have to give an appreciation for the value of an award, especially those awards that pertain to medicine and so on, the master's areas, the number of bachelors. And so these are not cheap in any case. And so when you look at the calculations, it is not unreasonable to believe that we have spent this significant amount of money to provide these awards to Grenadian National.
Okay, let's grab another caller this morning. Good morning to you, caller.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, caller. You're live on To The Point.
Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I thought I heard this morning on GBN that the To The Point this morning would have been on an open line.
Yes, but that has been changed because of circumstances. We have just changed it up a wee bit.
But what I noticed is a session that seemed to be an electioneering objective, and I think it is not only I alone that might notice that. I think others might notice that too. Thank you.
All right, caller. Folks, we're live on To The Point here this morning. It's moving up to just around 11 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour this morning. Mr. Gilbert with us this morning. We're talking about the scholarship desk from the Ministry of Education pertaining to scholarship that was awarded to, of course, Grenadians out there who are interested in having scholarships and having a scholarship done. And we spoke a lot about, of course, the part that government plays in terms of how government helps individuals who are interested in obtaining scholarships this morning. Well, Mr. Gilbert, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a couple more calls and see if there are other individuals who are interested in, of course, sharing in the program this morning. Let's take a break. We come in right back. It's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 15th of June, 2022. Let's take the break. We come in right back.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride, and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products, or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
The best way to protect yourself from 2019 novel coronavirus is to avoid being exposed to the virus. Additionally, there are preventative actions that you can take to protect yourself and your family from the spread of respiratory viruses that can make you sick. These include stay home if you're sick, cover your cough, and wash your hands.
live on To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 15th. It's GT with you this morning, folks. And my guest with this morning is Mr. Norman Gilbert from the Ministry of Education, the scholarship desk to be precise. And we've been chatting about the various scholarships that is out there that folks are probably saying this morning they never knew that, but they have learned a whole lot from the information that, of course, Mr. Gilbert has put out this morning. Now, let's talk this morning before we grab another callers before we wrap the show up. Just about 10 minutes because we've been strapped for time already. Let's talk about skills training in terms of the scholarship desk. Does the scholarship desk offer skills training also, if we could put it in that term?
Well, the scholarship desk does not directly provide skills training, but there are opportunities for advancement in skills training provided within the unit.
Okay.
And I want to speak about the community skills training program. The ministry has felt it necessary to initiate some community skills initiatives to support the enhancement of skills within the communities, utilizing schools that are outfitted to provide the delivery of civic youth training. And so we have started some training in some schools that are focused on the reintroduction of skills within the communities. And we believe that based on what we have seen as the feedback so far from these schools, that we have seen a significant level of interest in Grenadians in terms of skills training. I want to speak about, we have started a general construction training program in Westerhall area. We have started a furniture making program in St. Andrew area, and we are also expanding to other communities throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique to provide similar type of support. The ministry also has been supporting some religious organizations for the development and enhancement of skills within the religious community as well. And so currently we also have 5 training programs running that provides training for young people or persons within age. We have persons as young as age 14 and as old as age 55 in these programs. Currently we are doing areas such as housekeeping, we are doing bee production, we are doing agriculture production, we are doing construction, and we are also doing music production as well. And so we want to encourage persons in the communities out there who have interest in skills. Again, you can call the ministry. We can find a suitable place where you can be registered to participate in these skills training programs. Now, apart from the community initiatives, the ministry has also been working tirelessly to have skills supported at schools. And in fact, if you would have listened to the ministry's trust as outlined by the Minister of Education at the point of the budget last year, you would have understood that the focus of the ministry for this calendar year is that of skills development. And so we are supporting in many ways the enhancement of skills at the school level, but we have also been making a national trust for the adaptation of our national skills, our TVET policy. And I want to also to report here this morning as well that the ministry, with the support of the National Training Agency, with the support of UNESCO, has been working tirelessly to ensure that we complete our national TVET policy. It's currently at the final stage, and very soon we'll have the adaptation. We have done some validation just only last week with a number of key stakeholders in TVET education to look at the training providers, the trainers, the instructors, etc. And we believe that we're at a good place where we can now have our national TVET policy officially launched. Hopefully within the next 3 weeks or so, we'll be able to have our final policy ready, where we can inform the Grenadian public that this is what the thrust for TVET is going to be in terms of our education and providing skills for our population, and the upskilling, reskilling, and retooling of people who are currently into skills training, recognizing that there is not a room for academia only, but there's also some room for people who are skill-based. And that is equally supported by our national qualifications framework. And that supports people who have skill certificate will be able to match their counterparts who would have received academic qualification in terms of application for jobs. And what you would find is that in jobs where it requires technical skill, that a person who have a technical certificate should be and will be considered for that opening and not just a person who have 4 levels or 5 levels, as the case might be. But if I have a level 2 CBQ, that I'll be equally considered for this job position. And so we are working on these 2 documentations, the National Qualifications Framework, as well as the National TVET Policy as a ministry.
We do have a chance to take maybe another caller. We're looking at 3 minutes before the top of the hour this morning. Let's go over to the line and say good morning to the caller. Good morning, caller.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning to you and your guest. Is very interested that 1 week before the election, all these is coming out and so on. I mean, it's a good election employ. It's the Deacon Mitchell effect, and but that wouldn't work. All right, and so you have to do something better than that. Okay.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Gilbert, we're moving up. Just about 2 minutes before we wrap the show up this morning. Any final bit of information you want to throw out to the public of, especially to folks who may be interested in obtaining scholarships and the final process they may want to go through just before we wrap this morning?
Yeah, before we wrap, I just want to say and remind the public that the deadline for submission of applications to SGU for persons interested in pursuing studies at SGU is July 15th. And so we want to ensure that you are on time with your submission, that you should be accepted at SGU, applied and accepted at SGU first, that you should also complete the necessary application forms here at the Ministry of Education and submit same for consideration. And again, also to make a special call for persons to apply for the short-term courses that I spoke about, that can have a number of persons being trained in. And I want young people, especially, to be able to benefit from these training opportunities that are available, where you can be skilled and certified at the same time. So the ministry has been committed to providing training opportunities, scholarship opportunities, and will continue to do so. And we want to encourage all, once you are eligible, to so apply if you are interested in advancing your studies. So I want to thank the GBN for having me on this morning and to be able to share with you what's happening at the scholarship desk. And we want to encourage persons to visit the desk or to call the desk, where you can have more information as relates to training and scholarship opportunities.
Mr. Gilbert, I want to thank you very much for, of course, information shared this morning. Very fruitful information. I myself have learned a lot in terms of the various scholarship that's available and can be awarded to individuals out there. Hope you get a chance to do this again. Until then, have yourself a great day, sir.
Thank you very much.